Welcome back. Nigeria has commenced the execution of a sale and aggregation agreement for the delivery of 74 million standard cubic feet to its $500 million LNG facility. The agreement, which was signed on Tuesday, has been described by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachigo, as a milestone for Nigeria's gas expansion drive.
This is the very first one of it. Of course, add to that the work that has been done in getting calm in Niger Delta, because at the end of the day, you need calm in the environment to be able to access the gas. So a whole lot of work has been done to get us here, but I'm happy that just a few months after we launched the gas policy, we're seeing this event happen. It is a challenge to very many other investors who have been looking for how to be able to access and distribute gas in the absence of pipelines. This doesn't take away the need for pipelines. We're going to continue to work on providing pipelines. But what this does is that we no longer can wait. We can actually move fairly quickly in a robust manner to get gas up in the north. The work that still needs to be done is to find how they want to ensure that the payment issues are dealt with and the financing is bespoke, so that both the producer of the gas and the individual who takes the responsibility to distribute it are both adequately paid. And I think we'll be working with you as federal government agencies once you begin to deploy to places like NNPC, Central Bank, the Senate, to ensure that payments under the new system are made on time, so that there's a good financing and funding for you to do the future expansion projects. The first one is about 2,200 MT per day, but it has a capacity to grow up to 5,000 per day, so it's quite massive. And what you'll find is that over the next 3 to 4 years, if adequate financing schemes are put in place and adequate patronages and market is created, this could really metamorphose into the avenue for deploying gas in the country. So I urge a lot of investors and the likes of Greenville to look at this model and begin to look at very specialized projects, especially in centers where you can actually, where people can afford to pay the right kind of pricing for the supply of power, of supply of resources in those. So it's a very milestone day for us. It is the beginning of many to come. And under the leadership of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, we're going to be poised to see whatever we can do to provide the needed incentives that this sector needs to be able to move adequately and fairly fast out from an oil-focused zone into a gas-focused zone. Obviously, we're going to be looking at the PEF-type models. How do we ensure that gas is provided both in the north and in the south at about the same pricing equation? Because right now, most of the industries in the north are dying because of inability to provide power, quite frankly, to some of the industries there at competitive prices. This virtual supply can be the bedrock, but first we need to also, additionally as an incentive, go work through a payment mechanism or an offset mechanism that enables everybody in the country get gas at about the same pricing equation. So that's still some extra work to be done. I congratulate all of you trailblazers, and I congratulate the Gas Association. Incidentally, today that was your courtesy call day. Happened to be the day that we're doing the groundbreaking on this. I congratulate you. It is not to note that on this day that you've come, like I said, we've not had air conditioning in this building. So if there's anything that tells us why there's a need for a rapid movement in terms of supplying gas to these entities, this is the sort of thing that we point to. I congratulate all of you. I congratulate NNPC. I congratulate the partners, and I wish Nigerians a lot of luck in this. And I congratulate Nigeria because we're taking a first very solid step in the governance of His Excellency to begin to move towards this gas equation.
Ibe Kachiku, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources. Moving now to Mozambique. Of course, that country will charge Italian energy company ENI $350 million in capital gains tax for its sale of a stake in the Coral South natural gas field to ExxonMobil. Mozambique's government plans to set up a sovereign investment fund where taxes received on sales of the country's minerals will be used to finance development projects. The government has authorized the asset sale, and the tax authorities can now collect the tax. In June, ENI signed an $8 billion deal with the government to develop a gas field off the coast of Mozambique, the first of a series of projects that could transform the poor African nation into a major energy supplier to Asia. The Coral South field, operated by ENI, contains about 450 billion cubic meters, or about 16 trillion cubic feet of gas. ExxonMobil Corporation agreed this year to pay ENI $2.8 billion for a 25% stake in Coral South. And Egypt has signed 3 oil and gas exploration deals for 16 new fields in the Western Desert worth of at least $81.4 million in total, with Royal Dutch Shell and the US-based Apex International Energy. The Petroleum Ministry says the first deal would see Shell invest $35.5 million, and the other 2 would see Apex, which is operated in Egypt for the first time, invest a combined $45.9 million on 2 projects. Egypt, which used to be a net energy exporter, has become a net importer in recent years as consumption has increased while production has fallen. The government has been on a drive to lure back foreign investors to its energy sector in an effort to address a squeeze on public finances. In December, Egypt accepted 6 bids for oil and gas exploration worth up to $200 million. And to the global oil market, oil prices slid today, but gasoline spiked to their highest since July 2015 as flooding and storm damage in the wake of Hurricane Harvey knocked out 1/5 of U.S. refineries, crimping demand for crude but raising fears of fuel shortages. Hurricane Harvey, which has been downgraded to storm, has caused massive floods across coastal Texas, including in Houston. It is now moving into Louisiana, where more floods are expected. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were at $46.31 per barrel, down 13 cents from their last close. Brent crude futures were down 21 cents at $51.79 a barrel. In the refined product market, price markets have been more dramatic. U.S. gasoline prices were over 3% higher at $1.839 per gallon. Prices earlier climbed to the most since July 31, 2015 at $1.842. Diesel futures also jumped, gaining 1.2%, and were earlier at their highest since January 9 at $1.697. And that's it on the program today. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimize Obi Iwago.